Are you still sending plain text messages to new friends and colleagues? If so, it's time to upgrade your networking workflow. Sending your contact and brand information manually can be time-consuming. Make a better first impression with the digital biz card. Leads can access your web or email address, company logo, social media, and even YouTube channels. They'll even have the ability to save your biz card directly to their contacts. Visit getbizcards.com and upgrade your networking today. Honoring those trailblazers who preceded us is just as important as leaving a legacy for those who will follow us. Greekly Speaking is about highlighting Greeks today who are creating positive change for tomorrow. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Hi, welcome to Greekly Speaking. I'm Eric Tucker, and joining me for this episode is Daniel Smith of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Daniel was initiated in the Gamma Eta Sigma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma in the fall of 2010. He's a veteran of the United States Air Force with over 10 years of service to our nation. He holds a bachelor's degree in entertainment business and a master's in public relations. He's also the co-founder and CEO of Awkward Media Group, bringing over a decade of experience in the digital marketing industry. Daniel is also a recent member of the D9 Business Directory, so congratulations for that. And please welcome to Greekly Speaking, Daniel Smith. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Hey, all is well, man. You know, another day in the pandemic, we're making it happen. So, happy to be here, man. Hope everything's good on your side.
Yeah, man, everything's going good. Definitely mitigating and managing this pandemic, as you said.
Hey, well, that's cool, man. We connected, not long ago on social media and some of our common groups. And, we saw some of the things you were doing, man, with your brand. And we definitely wanted to have an opportunity to connect with you. And we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. We want to definitely learn a little bit more about your brand. But first of all, as we do on Greekly Speaking, man, we got to check you out a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your Greek background, man. What influences did you have as far as being Greek that you have coming up?
Coming up, I lived in Bainbridge, Georgia. So going to FAMU homecoming every year was a thing. So that was my first kind of experience with seeing the FAMU parade, watching the different organizations come down the road, and then being able to go in the yard and actually watch them stroll and step and do their thing. Stepping was a thing back then. And so it's not so much now, but that's from there. But then I joined the military and I went out to Cheyenne, Wyoming, which I don't recommend. There's not too many Black people out there, but we used to go hang out in a city called Fort Collins, Colorado, where Colorado State University is at. And I was hanging with the guy, our late brother, Danny Foster. Me and him and another guy was hanging out real heavy and real tough. And one night he invited me to a party. And then next thing I know, he jumped out and started strolling. And I did not know he was a Sigma. So I approached him and let him know I was interested. And from there, it just showed, you don't matter what walks of life you're in, where you're at, you can always run into a brother of Phi Beta Sigma and you cannot stereotype them. So that right there for me was the latch that hooked me right on to everything I needed for Sigma, because you couldn't stereotype us. Nothing that you can put down can say, oh, this is what defines and what makes, a brother that when you see him out in the street, that's going to let you know he's a Sigma. We come from all different walks of life. And that's what I loved about the organization.
Okay, so we might be dealing with 6 degrees of separation here, because I spent a lot of time at FAMU homecomings when I was living down in Florida. We ran a site called stepshows.com, and okay. I actually had a tour of University of Denver and also at Fort Collins, man. I did a step show out there too.
Oh,
so wow. I understand the vibe.
This is crazy.
And I was totally surprised. I'm like, oh, and that just happened. Okay, Fred.
Yeah, that just happened now. Wow, it's crazy. It's a small world. We're always connected in some way.
I love it, man. I love it. So that's kind of how you got your first exposure to Phi Beta Sigma, man. Yeah. That's cool. So you're 2010 initiate. How many people came through with you?
So there was 8 other line brothers that I had with me. So it was 9 of us total. One of the largest lines to actually come through my alumni chapter here. So we still hold that reign as, having 9 coming through at that time.
Okay. And what was the name of the line?
Oh man, Operation Blue Storm was the name of the line. And then my line name is Blue Missile. So kind of goes synonymous with who I am as a person.
Oh, I thought it was about all those missiles you fired from your, fighter jet in the Air Force. Oh, okay. All right.
No,
I get you.
I wish I fired some missiles from a fighter jet. I wouldn't be sitting here with you today. I'd be making that real money.
Hey, it's all cool. I also lived in Tampa. I know the Air Force base down there pretty
Oh
well.
yeah.
So, man, and before we even continue, man, thank you for your service.
Thank you for the support.
I appreciate you, man, and everything you're doing and your sacrifice for your family. So grateful nation indeed, man. But I just want to ask, man, how did you even have time to do all this stuff, man? You got a bag full of degrees, Air Force service, and then you still had, time to be active with Phi Beta Sigma. What service projects are you guys known for in that Tampa area?
So service projects, we're known pretty much for Easter egg hunt that we do for the entire Tampa Bay community. It's our longest standing program that we have now since the history of the chapter. It's the one program that has stayed around and has been here. Another thing we do is called a Blue Tie Fair. So we recognize individuals who normally wouldn't get huge recognition in the community, but are doing things in the community that need to be noticed. So we recognize them at that event and allow them to get their flowers, while they're still here and living. And then the one thing our collegiate chapters do really well is Sleep Out for the Homeless. They are continuing that program and they get media coverage from it every year. So that's been some of the programs that have, been a staple for the community here with us as a chapter.
Hey, that's fantastic, man. It's all about that. And I love I love asking that question, because you can tell when people are really connected and committed with the service, because it comes right out, and I think that's great. And it also gives other chapters ideas of some things that they can do. So I appreciate you sharing that with the audience, man. So what impacts would you say Phi Beta Sigma has had on your life so far?
Oh man, Phi Beta Sigma has had a great impact on my life, just because, one, being in the military, getting sent around a lot of different places, you don't always have somebody that you can trust. And so that impact of brotherhood has definitely been there. My first deployment, man, I remember walking through the desert and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to make it. And Frat was in charge of vehicles. And he was like, what's going on, Frat? I got you. I'm gonna hook you up. And I had a vehicle. My unit's looking at me like, how you riding around? So, it's had that impact. And you wouldn't believe it, but I was actually pretty quiet when I first joined. I was more of a kind of to myself, but now I'm very outspoken. I can get into a room, and public speaking has been a gift that has been given to me through Phi Beta Sigma. And I think the biggest thing has been my project management. Being thrown into some different projects, having to lead those projects. Now, it makes me to where I am keen on how to get things done effectively. And then while also being able to delegate and get the support of the brothers to help me out. So Phi Beta Sigma has greatly impacted me from jump.
Wow, man, we may have to get you to be a spokesperson for for the organization, man. That's cool. So sounds like you're saying joining Phi Beta Sigma for the most part has been a good thing for you.
Oh
So
man, it's the best decision I ever made.
I
No
love
offense
it.
to the others out there, y'all tried it, but we Phi Beta Sigma took over and made it happen. So
Okay, we just lost half of the audience. That's fine. All right. No, man, it's all good, man. We have Greeks in every organization doing some great things, man.
yes.
And the best of the best tend to get connected with our platform, and we love that. So just keep doing what you're doing down there in Tampa, man. But speaking of getting the word out and everything, man, tell me about the brand, man, and the Awkward Media Group. And I love the name. And because, I believe marketing is all about, increasing brand awareness.
Yes.
And the effectiveness of that is pretty much measured by, how many people have your brand top of mind, right? And you start your marketing with the name. I mean, you can't help but go, okay, let me see what this is about, man. So how did the concept come up?
So the concept came up, especially for me and my best friend from high school. We're still connected to this day. He does graphic design. I've always been keen on the social media marketing and just the marketing aspect. So we said, it's time we bring this together. So we brought it together and we worked with our first client. We didn't have a name yet. And we asked her to write a review. And her review was, it's kind of awkward how good those guys are. And so we worked with another client, and then they mentioned it was kind of awkward how they hit a nail on the head as soon as we started the project. So I was like, I think we just found our name. Both of us are kind of socially awkward in our own sense. And then these clients keep saying it's awkward how they knew just what we wanted. So that's how we landed on Awkward Media Group and what led us here today, because we may be socially awkward, we may have a different way of doing things, but when we bring you the final approach and we show you your project, you're like, wow, I did not expect to get that, knocked out the box the first time. So we pride ourselves on not having to go back and do a lot of revisions.
Now, you've been doing this professionally for over 10 years. You've been in the game for a minute. What are some trends that you see in the marketing space that your company is positioned to take advantage of?
So, video is huge right now. And so, you have your TikToks, you have your Reels, and those types of things. I mean, even Instagram has announced that they're no longer a photo sharing app anymore. They're more or less focused on video. So being that, we have those quirky ways, being that we're awkward, we can give you those video ideas to kind of reach your audience, because you have to have a different approach. Everybody can be informational, everybody can educate. But if you have an awkward approach to it, as I like to say, got to keep that branding pushing. But you have that approach to it and it hooks people, you bring them in and you keep them there. So that way they want to continuously watch your video. So video is definitely something that we're keen on and being able to get out. And then another one is social audio. And I know people have seen it emerging with Clubhouse. You have Twitter Spaces. You have a lot of different things coming about. We can actually help you mitigate that and be able to work around getting your audience into that social audio. So now you can host platforms on different things that your company is doing and bring your audience in so that way they can listen to that live. So that's two of the things that we've really focused on that we can kind of do and that differentiates us from a lot of other marketing companies.
You put me in an awkward position, man, because I typically don't, get too deep into all the branding and everything, but, I can't help but do that because that's your company name. I was checking out your website and I love how you have your team. It's so good to see positive African-American men on, front and center as part of a collective doing positive things, man. I cannot tell you how deeply touched I was with that imagery. And, it used to be something that, people felt compelled to kind of hide or you know what I mean? And now it's like, hey, look, this is it. Hey, we're unapologetic about it. And we can give you the results that you need, because the only color that matters to business owners is green. And
that's the approach we had to take, because when I started looking for marketing jobs after the military, I would look on all these companies' websites and I saw no Black people. And I was like, I don't want to be the token Black guy at your office just because, that you feel like you need a diversity hire. So that led us to be like, hey, we got to stay true to where we're at and drive that brand home.
Tell us a little bit about your team.
So we have Alonzo, that's my chief design officer. He's been my designer. So for any campaigns I've ran in Sigma, any graphics that you see me do in Sigma, Alonzo has done them. He's not a Sigma yet. I'm working on it, but trying to get him hooked in there. But he's been working with me for a long time. He's had his own company. GBG Graphics is what it was before we brought him in to be with Awkward Media Group. And then we have Isaiah Jordan. Isaiah is our chief merchandising officer. He handles all of our merchandise. We can do shirts, any products that you need promotionally for your company, and he handles that. And Isaiah is a little different. Me and Isaiah met because I was his advisor at the University of Tampa through his collegiate chapter, and we've just connected ever since. So when people say the advisor and collegiates can't have a good relationship, he is an example of how they can actually become business partners, because the idea actually streamed of us taking this full time from Isaiah. And so we have him. And then we have Roderick. He's out in Houston. He's kind of more of a contractor. So he works with us as we get overwhelmed with different clients, and we bring him in to work from there. So that's pretty much my team. We all have a different balance. We all have our different things that we're good at. And that makes us, a great team when we pull it all together.
Man, I love the response to that question. It tells me that you guys are not just a group, but you're operating as a team, and you know exactly how you're connected. That tells me you know the strengths that each of your team members brings to the table. And I think clients can pick up on that really, really quickly, right? And it also tells me that you have the capacity to scale. You have to know what you can't take on. Right. And so that gives me awkwardly honest insight to how you do what you do, man. So for any collegiate or high schooler, considering going into that marketing space, what advice would you give them?
Oh, I wish I could have asked this question back then, but I would tell them to try to look at the different aspects of marketing and find a niche. A lot of people think that marketing is just this broad scale of different things, and you need to hone in on what you're really good at. Some people are good at SEO, some are good at graphic designing, some people are good at social media marketing, some people can do the broader scheme of digital marketing altogether and website design. But find what you're keen at and what you're good at and focus on that. Get that development in that track and just stay there, because there's a lot of money out here for all of us. And if you focus in on that, you can separate yourself from everybody else by having that experience, knowing exactly what you want to focus on.
So don't disguise specialize. People try to
a lot of
disguise
people
their
have on their
weakness.
business card that they're a branding specialist, and then you talk to them and you're like, nah, you're only good in this area. So really be a specialist in what you want to be in.
Man, that's great advice, man. So I love that you understand all the different aspects of marketing and doing web design in the past. People say, I need a website. Well, what you need is a marketing plan. And a website is just part of that, right?
Exactly.
That's cool, man. So what's next for you guys?
So right now, as you mentioned, scaling up, we're actually looking at that avenue. So I have been reaching out to the local universities to get interns for our company that, need to get those credits for marketing. And we're not taking those interns free. I do not believe in unpaid internships, but what we're doing is we're providing you a stipend for your education. So we're giving you a scholarship that's geared towards that. And then some of them, we're looking at one now who is actually going to be coming onto the team full time. So right now we're getting ready to step into our niche, and mine is more or less working with our political clients. So we're about to step into that arena again of people getting ready to run for office. So we're about to get really busy.
Oh man, this is gonna get awkward real fast, man. You step into that political side, Ooh. So I can't wait to see some of your ads, man. This is gonna be cool.
Man, yeah. The political side is what I do best. I love it, and I love stepping on the toes of the people running against our opponents. So we make it happen.
So that was your ad I saw. So for the members of the audience that would love to learn more about your company, your brand, how would they get in touch with you guys?
So they can go to our website at awkwardmediagroup.com, or any of our social media platforms, which is Instagram, Facebook is Awkward Media Group. And then Twitter, Awkward Media Group was too long. So we Awkward Media GR on Twitter, but we do keep an active profile on all those different social media networks and just working from there. So reach out to us. And you can also go to our website. There's a contact form there. It lets you automatically schedule an appointment with me. Don't have to worry about getting caught up in emails. I actually hate emails. So everything is automated. So as soon as you contact me, we get the ball rolling.
There you have it, folks. This brother has a team. He has a dream. He gets the ball rolling. He's doing it, man. And hey, man, this has been a pleasure. Brother Daniel Smith, Awkward Media Group. Hey, we appreciate what you're doing, man, in that community with your chapter, but also as far as giving opportunities to other students who are interested in your space and marketing. So congratulations to you again for joining that D9 Business Directory and for making strides in your field, man. And if there's anything we can do to promote what you guys got going on, man, don't hesitate to give us a call.
All right. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And shout out to you for what you're doing with this platform. And if we can support in any way, we're here for you as well, because this is awesome.
Appreciate it, man. Take care. Have a good one. Okay.
All right. You too.